What's good then, YouTube? Hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel. The FIFA Analyst. Today we are bringing you a Frank Onyeka player review, the 84 rated centre defensive mid which plays for Brentford in the Premier League. This is a card that got released and I think a lot of people kind of slept on him, to be honest. Kind of just, oh no, I'm not really that interested in that. But given the flashback Kante that came out not too long ago, it was actually a really perfect time for this card to come out for me to be able to compare them. We did do a flashback Kante review. If you want to watch that, you are more than welcome to. But let's go ahead and look at the face value of the stats first of all. He has 82 pace, 66 shooting, 75 passing, 80 dribbling, and 85 defending with 86 physical. So overall, a very well-rounded card. We did play him in the central defensive mid position. We played him in the 4-3-3 as a right centre mid and also right CDM in a 3-5-2. So bit of a test in there. In terms of our instructions, what do we have him on? I use him on balanced and I use him on stay back while attacking. And I also use him on cut passing lanes, cover centre. But I cycle between balanced and the stay back while attacking, purely just because he does have the high work rates, which means that he wants to get forward, he wants to contribute in the build-up play, but obviously he also wants to hold and have that defensive line as well. He has no player traits of relevance to us, and he is coming in at the minute at around 85,000 coins, which is very cheap given how this card performs. What were the kind of standout stats to me? The agility and balance at 90 and 90 is phenomenal. He has 92 stamina. His overall defending is pretty decent. He's at 85 stand tackle, 80 slide tackle. Now his short passing and long passing, 82 and 76 respectively, which isn't that bad at all. 80 acceleration, 83 sprint speed. In terms of chemistry style, what are we going to go for him? Now, you can go for a shadow, you can go for an anchor, maybe a basic, maybe an engine. I think there's a few little variants here on kind of what you want from him. I think most people are going to play this card as a stay back while attacking centre defensive mid. So a shadow will make sense for you if you think that's something you need to do. He does have 3-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. He's a lean body type and he is 6 foot. That lean body type, by the way, isn't that big of a deal because I found his strength to be really good at 85 and he covered that ground and you know, definitely got there with that lean body type. I think if he was any like heavier, let's say if he was average or stocky, that agility and balance that, you know, you've got, which is in the 90, which is great for a centre defensive mid, may feel not as good. Let's go ahead and talk about his pros and cons. Let's talk about his passing first of all. 82 short passing, 76 long passing. For a central defensive mid, I don't think he's that bad at all for a guy that is good on the ball because of the agility and balance alone. When we take a look at Kante, for example, I'm going to go with the flashback card here, by the way, so I think that's probably the best one to kind of compare it to. On his, he has 80 short passing and 77 long passing, so they're very close and similar. You know, there's not really anything in it. Obviously, Kante is technically better on the dribbling side of things, which is something to take into account. His ball control is only 80. It's 84 on the side for Kante. Reactions at 81. So, but he did feel okay. Like you say that on there and you compare it, yeah, Kante wins, but he did feel okay on the ball when we needed him to be. What was his shooting like? Shooting, he got into a few shooting positions actually. His shot power 69, his finishing 71. You don't want him getting in the box that often. He did score a couple goals for me, but try and avoid it if you can, which I imagine if you're playing him in a central defensive mid role anyway, that won't be a bigger deal. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. We kind of spoke about his dribbling. He's got 3-star skill moves, which isn't great, but for a typical centre defensive mid, you know, the guy that is there to break up the tackles, that isn't too big of a deal. So I'm not really too fussed on that. We've already touched on his strength to let you know how I found how good he was, you know, in the battle in the middle of the park. Let's talk about his positioning. Everywhere. That's a simple word for it. Now, it was confusing really because his interceptions is 87, defensive awareness is 88, and then his stand tackle and slide tackle 85 and 80. But he was just everywhere. Like, he was, to me, as a centre defensive mid, he was there more than what the flashback Kante was for me. He just seemed to be in the right position at the right time without me having to manually control him, which was great with a high work rates. Maybe, I don't know what it is because his aggression's only 80, which isn't really that high in the grand scheme of things. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. Kante's is 80 as well, but he just seemed to be there more in comparison to Kante, which was great. Which obviously was, you know, massive benefit for us. So that kind of touches on his defending for you and tells you exactly how I found him kind of in that role. In terms of his heading, not something that I really came across too much in the attacking area, but in defensive area, because he's 6 foot, he does have 81 jumping, which isn't massively high, but certainly not too bad. He did win a lot of headers and definitely, you know, put that kind of battle in that sort of area. In terms of the links, this is probably the hardest card, the hardest thing about this card. He's very difficult to link because you're not going to get a strong link via club and you're not going to get one via nation or hyperlink or anything, sorry. So you can only really go with the strong links via the Premier League or the links via the Premier League. So he is very difficult to link, which I think is a pure reason why he is the price that he is. If he was, you know, of a different nation, a more popular nation, or maybe a more popular club, or, you know, a bigger club, let's say, without taking anything away from Brentford, then I think his price would be a lot more because the card is very well rounded on that side. So I'd have to give him a massive like downgrade because of the team links. Okay. Longevity. How long do we think this card can last for you guys on FIFA 22? It's a difficult one, to be fair, because it depends what chemistry style you put on him, right? If you're going to put a shadow on him just to give him that pure pace, you know, he comes up to 93 pace and a 93 defending. And because he's decent on the ball, you could use him for a long time. I think he will get kicked out quickly purely because of the links element. As more SBCs come out, as more players come out and whatnot, you're just going to be like, I've got Onyeka, he's great, but I can't find a way to keep him in my team. So I think he will, you know, die out of teams very quickly, probably a month or so. I think in the actual card wise, I think he can certainly do a job for the foreseeable future, you know, until team of the year at least, I would say. Enjoyment of card. How much did I enjoy him? A lot, purely because I did not expect him to be as good as he was. Simple as that, really. I honestly, one of my most favourite cards in this team that I have used because he was just everywhere. And for the price that he is, he's an absolute bargain. So yeah, definitely enjoyment of card was through the roof for me on there. He can be played at all levels as well. There's no requirement, you can't use him in the elite division or anything. Certainly feel like he can do a job for us there. The question really that you want to know is he better than Kante? I'm going to take away price. No. I'm going to take into account price. Yes. I'm going to take away, I'm going to think about, you know, links. No. So Kante would win it. However, if you're a full Premier League team, go for Onyeka. Save your coins. You don't need to go and get that Kante. You don't need to do the the SBC Kante. He will be fine for now. Use this guy as a time filler to go and get Kante, the gold Kante, when you can afford him. Like, you can go and upgrade your team elsewhere. Use Onyeka for the next 2-3 weeks. Save up to get Kante in 3 weeks' time and upgrade elsewhere. I think that would be a very viable method for a lot of people to do with this card because of how he is. My overall rating, what would I rate him? Again, taking out price, taking out links, taking out club, I would give this card a solid like 9 out of 10 because he was so good for me. Taking into account club, league, links, then it would bring it down to an 8 out of 10. But bring in the price, I'd keep it to an 8.5 because I think for the price wise, he fills the gap that you have in the Premier League right now where it's like, what centre defensive mid should I get? Kante, well, it's too expensive. Allen, Fabinho, they're not really that great. Onyeka comes in and goes, hello, I will give you an option now. And that's where he is phenomenal. So I will go ahead and pick him up if obviously you need to have him in your team. But without the links, obviously, it will make things a little bit more difficult for you. If you guys did enjoy this video, if you have any questions about him, if you want to see any more in the future, please do pop any comments down below and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do leave a like on the video as well if you did enjoy it. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.